You know, one of the things that I've learned over the years is that education starts at the home. And parents, grandparents, guardians are integral to the learning that you have. So, you know, always remember that, and always remember that as you go through the next stages of education, that your parents and your mom, okay? Okay, please stand. They will always be your guides, and no matter how old you get, they will always have your best interest at heart. So always remember that. So thank you again. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Ibarra. Before this meeting started, Mr. Flores and I were talking about different times of your life, and one of the things that I was telling him was being a grandparent is the best job there is in the world. So it's really wonderful to see. I know how involved many grandparents are in their kids' lives, and this is what happens. And so all the support you can get. We love being grandparents, my husband and I know there's many people in the circle probably do too, but it's great to have you with us tonight to celebrate their successes. Okay, we're moving on to item 3.1, recognition of the Cooley Ranch counselor, Nina Torres. Yeah. I'm just gonna do it. Why did I read it? Tonight we're recognizing Nina because of the contribution she's made to our district for so many years. We'll be presenting her with a certificate of recognition that says, Nina Torres, counselor at Cooley Ranch Elementary School, in recognition of your inspiration and dedicated to our students and staff through your creation and participation in programs such as Motivation Station, Kindness Ambassadors, Empowerment Team, and other district events presented August 17, 2023. And each one of us signed this, and we feel so much appreciate you from the depths of our heart for all the things that you've done, because it's made a difference. We've all been different opportunities you present for the kids, and we do appreciate that greatly. So I'm going to give you, if you would like to say something, but then I'd like you to come back here and take a picture. Okay? Thank you.
Thanks. Yes. Of course, I want to say something. Of course. But if I could just have my colleagues and my Cooley family come up behind me, please. And my principal, Ms. Godinez, the amazing Ms. Godinez. Good evening, Board President Thorin Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. This recognition means the most to me, more than any recognition. I've never seen this done. I know I've only been here 17 years. Yes, that is not that long. I know it might sound a lot for some people, but 17 years is kind of short, right? And I just want to thank you because I've never seen this done, number one. But when I heard that it was announced, you better believe I went and listened to it. Mr. Ibarra, I thank you. I thank you for all of you that backed it, because what was most phenomenal, you guys need to get closer, like really behind me. For family, it's because you acknowledge the struggle. You acknowledge the struggle. And I thank you. As a disabled person, in my time of employment, I've had fellow employees mock the way I walk, put their hands up in the deformed positions of my deformities. I've had them go to my husband and say, you need to tell your wife she shouldn't be working. But on the flip, I had an amazing family. And I had the most beautiful people that were willing to stand up for me stand by me, help me get help when I needed help. And sadly, I actually got a book from board member Haro, and it's called Deep Kindness, and it talks about how kindness is, it's not normal. And our empathy gap is getting larger. This is proof that there are good people that will help people like me, because I get the message every day that I'm not good enough, that I don't belong. But these people remind me that I am. And I have to mention the few that have been so brave to help me. Vanessa Gonzalez, Judy Skates, Amanda Corridan, Taisha Holloman, which is the counselor at Grand Terrace High School. My husband, couldn't be here every day without him. You guys have no idea. And my IEP team. And that is Jessica Jimenez, Mary Dubois, Dr. Brade, Dr. Cervantes, Christina Parachi, who stood by my side. My colleagues need to be up here behind me. They're sneaking out there. Come up here, you too. And my question is this, and I tell this story because you acknowledge the struggle, and I thank you because that means the most. Because I'm, people say, well, the work you do must be easy because it's done by someone like you. And I bring the story up, I'm going to tie it back to our kids. I am your adult person, adult employee, just like our children with IEPs. I am your adult person on an IEP. How do we change this culture? How do we replicate this? Because I am so blessed. All I want to do is have as much of a normal life as I possibly can. Every day I wake up and I say, Lord, thank you. I get to go to work. We need to replicate this for our kids because we tell them you could be anything you want to be. Our kids with IEPs, our kids in special education. But it starts with us. And if we don't address these issues and how it really is and change that culture, thank you for, I hope I don't get the acronym wrong. DSDP, right? Okay. DSDP, I'm gonna say with confidence, DSDP. Let's turn our culture around and make it like this. Because it matters for our kids. Let me and other people, I'm not the only disabled employee, let us show you, help you together, make a difference so our children, when they enter the workforce, that it really is changed. Because I believe in miracles, because my miracles stand behind me. Thank you. And I am so blessed beyond words. Thank you. Oh. Thank you.
We'd be honored, Nina, to take a picture with the board. So if you want to join us, and we can have everybody join us too here. That's for sure. So we're going to be back.
Nina?
Shake.
You did great. We ready?
Hold on.
Thank you.
Show the certificate.
I will get the certificate.
There you go.
One, two.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you. We're celebrating some really successful programs for our boys and girls, and it's wonderful to have the kind of cooperation and working together that we do have at the school and within our counseling program. So thank you again. Our next item is item 4.1. Announcement regarding public comment for items on the agenda, and items not on the agenda. Mrs. do you have any? No. We skip it. All right, but now we're gonna move then. No comment. Should have taken it. They won't look. It's too late to answer it. I hope they call back. Okay. We're now at item 5.1. Arts, music, and instructional material discretion of block grant, business services and educational services division. Assistant Superintendent Fromm and Director Murphy will be presenting for us tonight.
I'm so sorry about the wait. Good evening, Board President Thoring Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. We want you to wait in anticipation of our new grant. We have music people here tonight. If you could do a drum roll. Just kidding. Maybe the theater people could like act it up. Do you have a couple?
Oh, yes, yes, it is.
Jeopardy.
I know. We could have them play questions. How much money do you think we're getting? Go.
It is real, sing the song first. Oh. Yeah.
Here we go, begin.
Is it, can I go?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they got it.
We are here tonight to talk to you about the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant. A couple of details about the grant. We received $11.8 million. The funding is allocated for students in grades K through 12, and the funds need to be encumbered by the end of the school year in 2026.
Slides are up. Glad we got the slides up. I was looking forward to saying next slide. Next slide. Next screen. Continue on going. So instructional music, arts and music instructional block grant. There's a various, first I'll go back to this slide here. So we originally were allocated $11.8 million. We were supposed to come up here and present back in June, but at the May revise, the governor proposed a cut to this block grant. So we postponed it until we knew exactly how much we were going to receive. So we received, there was a 6% cut across the board from the state. So this is our new allocation based on that 6% cut. Now the state is saying we're going to get it back in a few years from now, but all the advice from School Services of California and CASBO don't expect to get it back. So we're not planning on getting it back. So we waited to bring this plan forward until we knew what we had. Some districts already spent some of the money last year and they had that cut. We were prepared to wait, so I'm glad we did. Next slide, please. So allowable uses for the arts and music instructional materials block grant. It's kind of a confusing name because it can be used for anything pretty much, but the state decided to put that title on that. So you can use it for developing diverse book collections and improve your libraries for students. But then there's operational costs, and I put this in bold here because it kind of stands out because it doesn't fit with the title of the block grant. Operational costs, not limited to, but retirement, healthcare cost increases. Also, you could put it towards COVID-19 expenses as well. Next slide. Here's some more allowable uses for it. Standard-based materials for the classroom, visual arts, world languages, mathematics, science, ethnic studies, computer science, historical science, and to obtain any instructional materials, professional development aligned to best practices to improve the school climate. Next slide. So here is what our allocation is going towards, and later on tonight, we have a plan that's gonna be up for approval from the board as well. We're gonna use it towards textbook adoptions, visual performing arts materials. We're also gonna use it for to take some costs off the general fund that are going away as well, some custodial and maintenance costs that we put in place for COVID-19 to free up money in general fund and to pay off the SERP that was in our general fund as well, to get that paid off as well. So we're paying off some things that were one-time costs with one-time dollars, and that's kind of what you want to do when you have one-time money. Any questions?
Any questions, anyone? Mr. Fuentes?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited that we got this grant. I think the arts, performing arts, all that, it needs to happen. It needs to happen in our schools. It's an opportunity for our students to succeed through the music. I'm a musician. I play bass and drums and sing. Many of you know that. And I've been in movies. I've done extras for movies and stuff. And it's great to have an opportunity to be able to share this. And I know the Duckworths are here and they're very, very up on this. And I know Mr. Duckworth is our Bloomington High School choir. And so it to me, I'm just excited. I have no words actually to say, but I'm excited that today we're going to approve this. I hope we do. Thank you.
Mr. Ibarra?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your presentation. As I had an opportunity last school year to go to some of the productions that were around our district, a lot of the buzz was how the people enjoyed watching the upgrades that we've been putting together at all our different sites. I mean, it made a world of a difference, not only to the audience, but also to the performers as they presented what their plays and so forth. With that being said, you know, can you maybe share, if it gets passed, what are some of the areas that you're looking to put some of the money into?
I'll turn that question over to Joda on the instructional side. I discussed the specific things we're doing on the operational side to remove those one-time costs of the SERP and custodial maintenance costs from COVID-19 that are going away, but she can give you more information on the materials for the program as well.
Okay, please.
And you'll love this answer, that Dr. Mooney's team is going to be presenting more information on when he talks about the strategic plan as to how the money is going to be allocated. We're also using it for textbook adoption, and we're looking at biology, math, and ethnic studies coming up.
Okay, so at this time, we're just waiting to see, you know, depending on the approval, you know, where we're going to allocate some of the fundings related to the visual and arts areas.
Correct, but coming up next, Dr. Peterson and her team are going to talk about Prop 28, which is ongoing money to support that. This is one-time money, so we're using it well on some one-time purchases, textbooks adoption, books for classroom and supplies. And then when she presents, we'll have more information on ongoing things that Prop 28 funds, which voters approved in the state of California to help support arts, music, things like that in the class, in the classroom. So more information to come as soon as we're done here on that.
Yep, as we start to put funding into these programs, you know, I think that maybe the word encouraging our younger students to want to be involved once they get to the high school for theater and art, and maybe taking a look at what are some of the things that we could encourage some of our younger students to want to participate once they get to high school, like maybe taking them to some of the theatrical plays, some of the musical performances, some of the, and using some of that funding maybe for transportation purposes, or to because it's, as we grow these programs, I think it's important for us to nurture these programs, and it starts with our youth. And so that we can maybe consider some of those areas, because we need to have our students want to participate and grow with these programs, and look forward to getting to high school and say, hey, I want to play, you know, a musical instrument, I want to perform, I want to sing, etc. So just some thoughts. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5.2. Dr. Peterson and Dr. Mooney, would you please come forward?
I'm actually going to turn it over to Dr. Mooney and our arts team to deliver this presentation tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Well, good evening, Board President Dorian Ojeda, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, Executive Cabinet, and community. Tonight, the visual performing art teachers and educators of Colton Joint Unified School District, Vanessa Duckworth, Jill Ivy, Ryan Duckworth, and Anna De Leon, are co-presenting to highlight the crucial role of arts and music education in our schools. As we strive for a well-rounded education, we must recognize the significance of the arts shaping our students' futures, thus our journey to establish a strategic plan. Tonight, you will hear about our rationale for creating the draft strategic plan, a little about our current realities, the purpose, funding streams, and finally, our recommendations for focus areas. As part of the executive summary, I'm gonna pause. I lost my screen. There we go. As part of the executive summary, we wanted to just highlight that the California Department of Education has taken a firm stance by establishing standards for arts education. This ensures that our programs are comprehensive, robust, and accessible to all students. This commitment to equity aims to empower every child with an opportunity to explore their artistic potential. The impacts of the arts education goes far beyond creativity and self-expression. Research has proven its numerous benefits across academic, social, and emotional aspects. Students engaged in the arts and music experience a positive impact on school climate, leading to improved attendance rates, higher graduation rates, and enhanced overall academic achievement.
Good evening, Board of Education. My name is Vanessa Duckworth. This is my 22nd year in the district teaching elementary band to our students. I'm currently at Crestmore, Grant, Grimes, and Zimmerman. So this slide, when it appears, represents our current reality as it relates to arts education across our district. The goal is to have an elementary art, a music, and a PE teacher assigned for a triad of elementary schools at all 18 elementary sites. Currently, we have this system in place at 9 of our sites. Our district is in the process of hiring 9 more teachers for the remaining 9 sites. Dr. Syed Haider, Director of Elementary Curriculum, reported that the district has received lots of applications for the PE teacher positions, but none for art and music yet. These positions are currently still open on EdJoin. Our vision is to ensure access to all 5 arts education disciplines at all 3 school levels. Tonight, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the history of arts education in Colton Joint Unified and discuss the opportunities that lie ahead. CJUSD boasts a rich tradition of arts education, fostering creativity and nurturing the talents of our students. Over the years, we have witnessed numerous CJUSD graduates excel in the arts, continuing their passion through college and into successful careers. This is a testament to the positive impact of arts education on our students' lives. However, it is important to acknowledge that we have faced challenges in creating a comprehensive arts plan. Previous efforts have been commendable, but have struggled to leave a lasting impact on student access and curricula. While they provided valuable opportunities, they fell short of achieving the sustained growth that we desire. Nevertheless, there is reason for optimism. Recent investments through the Local Control and Accountability Plan, the LCAP plans, have shown promising improvements in arts education. These investments have opened doors and allowed more students to experience the transformative power of the arts. Yet, to ensure the truly long-term success of arts education in CJUSD, we must go beyond short-term funding solutions. We need a comprehensive and sustainable arts plan that addresses accessibility, curriculum development, teacher support, and community involvement. Such a plan will solidify our commitment to arts education and provide a strong foundation for future generations. The vision for arts education in CJUSD is centered on equal access, multiculturalism, equity, and diversity. Our commitment is to provide every student with an inclusive and enriching arts education experience. At the core of our vision lies CJUSD's overarching commitment to student success. We believe that every child deserves the opportunity to explore and express their creativity, regardless of their background or circumstances. By offering a vibrant arts education, we can unlock their full potential and foster well-rounded individuals who are ready to embrace the challenges of the future. To realize this vision, we draw inspiration from the California Framework for Arts Education. This comprehensive guideline encourages us to promote diversity, celebrate different cultures, and create an environment where every student's unique voice is valued and heard. By integrating this framework into our practices, we create a learning environment that is truly representative of the diverse world we live in.
So in the previous presentation by Director Joda Murphy and Assistant Superintendent Fromm, they discussed the budgets. This portion of our presentation is just an overview of the funding mechanisms available to support the further development of our strategic plan and vision. Currently, our Local Control Accountability Plan, our LCAP, outlines specific actions and is supported with funding amounts. In 2022-23, $2.6 million was allocated to support the visual performing arts programs in the district. This year, $3.2 million are allocated for the same reason. Additionally, $2.2 million are being allocated from the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Block Grant for arts education. These funds are a welcome addition and will go a long way in providing the necessary instructional materials for our plan.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Duckworth. I have been a music teacher at the district for 22 years, 21 of them at Bloomington High School as the choir and music history teacher, and just now starting a music productions program that we're very excited about. In November of 2022, California residents overwhelmingly passed Proposition 28, which requires the state to provide the equivalent of 1% of state funding for arts education in public schools. Allocations from the California Department of Education should go out to LEAs sometime this fall. The goal of Prop 28 is to boost arts funding in public schools via enrollment-based distribution using this particular formula. Proposition 28 allocates 80% of funding for staff, 20% for training, supplies, and partnerships. Schools must use the funds received within 3 years. So the reason the work we've done and will continue to do is important because Proposition 28 mandates a funding plan, yearly certification, and transparent reporting for arts education spending, including program types, staff, students, and sites. In closing my portion on Proposition 28, it is meant to enforce arts funding use, certification, and the augmentation and supplementation of our existing programs.
So in the plan that you were provided, there has been much discussion regarding the proposed budget provided in the draft document. Now, the writing committee recognizes that the budget overview outlines discussion starting points, but the exact calculations will require a comprehensive resource assessment.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jill Ivy, and I'm an elementary band teacher. I work at Bernie, Cooley Ranch, Ritchie Canyon, McKinley, and Grand Terrace elementary schools. This is my 5th year in the district. This slide that hopefully will appear shows our journey to this point. The writing committee would like to thank our students and parents who participated, as well as our facilitators, Armelin De La O, Director of Riverside, Inyo, Mono, and San Bernardino County's California Arts Project, and also Patrice Cooley, Arts Education Coordinator, San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools Office. And Patrice is here tonight. If you could stand up so we could give you a round of applause to say thank you. During our collaborative time, the writing committee and VAPA teachers landed on these 4 focus areas for the strategic plan. They are equity and access, curriculum and instruction, community integration, and support and resources. CJUSD is committed to providing a comprehensive and equitable arts experience for all students. Our focus is that CJUSD will ensure that each and every student from transitional kindergarten through 12th grade has access to instruction in all 5 arts disciplines: dance, music, theater, media arts, and visual arts. We firmly believe that the arts are an essential part of a well-rounded education, fostering creativity, critical thinking, and cultural appreciation.
Good evening. My name is Ana De Leon. This is my 11th year at Grand Terrace High School, where I'm the founding choral director, and I also teach music history there. CJUSD is committed to providing a structured and sequential arts curriculum aligned with the California Arts Standards. Our focus is that CJUSD will align arts education courses from traditional kindergarten through 12th grade to the rigorous standards set forth by the California Arts Standards. We believe that this alignment is essential to ensuring a consistent and high-quality arts education experience for every student. CJUSD is committed to fostering collaborative community partnerships and family outreach to enrich student opportunities in the arts. Our focus is that CJUSD will actively cultivate reciprocal relationships with community organizations and local businesses to expand the horizons of arts education for our students. We recognize the immense value of engaging with the broader community in nurturing the creative talents of our young learners. CJUSD is committed to providing sufficient and appropriate resources to ensure that every student from transitional kindergarten to 12th grade has the opportunity to engage successfully in all 5 arts education disciplines. CJUSD will diligently work to implement a strategic plan that supports arts education throughout the district, from transitional kindergarten to 12th grade. We believe that equipping our teachers with the necessary tools and knowledge is essential to nurturing the creative potential of our students.
Mr. Ransdell, the band teacher at Grand Terrace, said it the best, and I quote, "This is a preliminary document that provides a starting point for the Colton Joint Unified School District to begin looking into what steps we should begin taking in order to better implement and support art programs in our district. This is not complete and should include additional input from additional stakeholders, including the leadership of our district, who ultimately will need to have input regarding what and how programs will be supported. In their wisdom, the writing committee is in full agreement and has outlined and called out a need for a district's arts leadership committee to continue to refine and improve upon this document. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my co-presenters here tonight. I would also like to thank Mrs. Cooley for being here as well and supporting the work of our district. And we're open for questions and comments.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Do you have questions, comments? Mrs. Harrell?
No, I do. 15 years ago, I got on the school board. And I got, from day one, I was pushing for a broader arts program in this district to reach all of our students. And I kept clamoring that, it's a proven fact, we're all about test scores in every district in California. And it's a proven fact that students who are involved in the arts, they graduate, more the test scores go up, everything that we're asking for. And this is the key. And to, needless to say, when Proposition 28 passed, I was very happy to see that finally, that this was going to happen in Colton, and we were going to give our students the arts education that they deserve. I know personally, I know the arts education that my daughter received at Bloomington High School, courtesy of Mr. Duckworth, was invaluable. She was involved in all these AP classes and losing her mind and going crazy, trying to do everything that a high school senior who wants to succeed does. And then she would come into choir and breathe. And it gave her an opportunity to explore a part of herself that she wouldn't have otherwise had. So I was very grateful for that. And this is just so important to every one of our students. I mean, I know it's going to be a transition, and it's going to all these things that we have to face. But this is just so important for our kids to be able to have this opportunity. I know all of our sites, our 3 high schools have had students who have moved on into the arts profession. We've had singers, we've had one graduating with a degree in stage direction. We've had an actress, so we were talking about an actress. I mean, all of these different things that these students would not have that opportunity had it not been for what we offer. And now we can offer them so much more. I cried when we congratulated Miss Nina, and I cried when you guys were doing this presentation, because this has been a long road. And that, you know, and I know you've been fighting this fight before I got on this board, but I know that for me, that 15 years, it's okay. It was worth it. So I'm very grateful to everyone who was on the committee. I'm very grateful to all of you for the presentation. And I look forward to seeing where we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harrell. Any other comments? Mr. Flores.
Thank you. This is exciting. And thank you, Board Member Ho, for being a champion for the arts in our school. It's long overdue, absolutely. And you reminded us time and time again of the importance of it. And I see that myself. Two of my 3 kids play musical instruments. One of them currently in the school program. And actually last night, the third said that he wants to start to learn an instrument too. So we may have trumpet practice going on at home here soon. Interesting. But the impact on the students, as Board Member Ho said, is evident. It's there. My wife was an artist all throughout high school, and she talks about how art classes are how she learned to cope with the difficulties that she had growing up and in high school. And there's no question that it's an outlet. What I really liked about the presentation is the emphasis on 2 things. Number one, introducing the arts to our students very early and at a young age. And number 2, ensuring that access is equitable. And that is a concern of mine and something that I hope that we will see, and I'm sure will be discussed as we go down this path, that no student is excluded or no family is excluded because they may not have the financial means or the resources or the language. And as we know, we have a number of families who English is not their first language or preferred language or language spoken at home. And we don't want our parents to feel like they can't access the information or learn about this. So making sure, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, that all of the resources and support that we provide to the academic programs, the athletic programs, are there to support the arts programs. And it's presented in our back to school nights, it's presented into our meetings and conversations with parents and families, and that we look to identify any barriers that may pop up that may exclude a student from participating. I'll refer back to band because that's what I know, what we live with. You know, access to instruments, having enough instruments, you know, sharing instruments, renting an instrument, buying an instrument. Those are things that are realities, and you know, we're fortunate enough that we can help our children with that in private lessons. But we're blessed to do that. Not everybody is, and I want to make sure that every student has the ability to go home, and whether it's a paint set, whether it's, you know, an instrument, whatever that they need so that they can practice and hone that craft, they have it. I don't know how we can make that work with respect to the funding and the grant, but every student means every student. And we just had a wonderful presentation and conversation about our students with various abilities. Absolutely, if they want to be on stage and performing, we need to accommodate them and make sure that they feel just as equal and represented as everybody. So again, I know, Dr. Mooney, that's a passion of yours, and I hope that we'll have conversations and you'll bring back to us opportunities to approve programs that support that equitable access. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Any other? Mr. Ibarra.
Thank you, Joanne. First of all, I just want to thank you for all you do and providing our students with such wonderful programs. And it's just incredible. And the stories keep on going and going, from students that are currently participating in your programs to students who are now performing major parts in plays like at Cal State Baptist University. So, and that's Joanne's grandson. That was he did an excellent performance. My point is that as we move forward with this and and Dan kind of just made me think about this a little bit, is the fact that the parents need to be aware of what we're offering out there to the students. And in today's world of technology, a lot of times parents do not have a lot of time to read a lot of brochures, pamphlets, and so forth. And one of the things that I'm thinking about is the fact that if we could do, say, sites where parents could actually click into the sites or go to a certain website where we could show small videos of our students actually performing at all ages, so they can see, if I have my students that are coming into elementary school, look at the elementary school students and how they're performing. Look at the choirs, look at the theatrical plays, look at, and it just takes them a few seconds, but it's enough to say, hey, I'd like to see my student doing that. So that's something I think that probably would be worth exploring, because nowadays a lot of parents, my phone's in my pocket, but that's the first thing they start taking a look at these sites. And if we are able to put that in with all the information, go to the site. If you're interested in our music, theatrical, visual, performing arts programs, look at what our students are doing. And your student can be doing that too. So just a thought, and just want to share it, but also just take this opportunity to thank you all for doing such a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ibarra. Mrs. Harrell?
Yeah, I just want to, what Mr. Ibarra said. We had a CRIROT meeting last night, and we spoke about marketing the programs that we have. And parents don't look at a brochure. They get it and they toss it. But we brought up the idea of putting QR codes on it with the performances or the kids working in the classrooms, showing what they're doing. So to tag on what you said, that might be a thought to do something like that.
Thank you. Any other comments? I do. Throughout my life and my career, you hear about kids who, I love to go to school because I get to play sports, I get to do this, I get to do that. I'm really, my son's really smart and he's book smart. But a lot of kids, we don't have a hook. And by expanding this program, not only are we giving them a hook for kids, but we're opening up their minds in a way that will academically help. And you mentioned that, Pat. I'm really excited to see this. I know what the arts did for my grandson and my husband's grandchildren. All of them got participated in art and been really successful. And all kids should have that. And I'm really excited to know that we're doing something to make that happen for all of our kids. And particularly looking at the equity issue, Dr. Miranda was saying about instruments. I played an instrument when I was a kid. But a lot of our friends couldn't do that because they're expensive. So for us to be able to provide a way, a means for those kids to see if it's something they well, but or maybe they don't want to, they play a year, but whatever, it opens their eyes. But not only does it do that, but it's a social mechanism that a lot of kids can't tap into. A lot of kids who have some issues and not being able to make friends and do this and that, but it gives them that kind of interest. And all of a sudden you got friends that you didn't know you were going to have. That's just so critical. And by doing the things that we've been doing in this program and others, to give the kids that opportunity, because as we look at what's happening in our society today, with mental health and kids not having anyone to connect with and to reach, this is going to do that for a lot of our kids. I mean, we'll never know how many kids we save, but I know there will be some. I know the impact that has on my family, and this as well as I'm sure and all of you probably with your kids. That connection, a lot of kids don't have connections like that. I mean, teachers who share a common interest with a student that maybe they haven't had before, there is a special bond there. And I'm really grateful that we're doing this. So thank you for all the hard work and what you're doing for our kids, because they matter. But we really need to know that, because a lot of our kids anymore They don't have a socialization, they don't realize that they matter. So thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you so much. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have item 6.1 through 6.33. Is there anyone who'd like an item to be considered separately? No? I'll ask for a motion to approve item 6.1 through 6.33. Okay. I have a motion by Board Member, a second by Board Member Fuentes to approve action item 6.1 through 6.33. All those in favor say aye. Nay. Any abstentions? So on the motion by Board Member, and second by Board Member Fuentes, and carried on a 7-0 vote. The board approved action item 6.1 through 6.33. For administrative reports 7.1 to 7.2, are there any questions or comments from the board members? No? Okay. Now we'll move on to 7.3. No facilities update tonight. So now we'll 7.4 ACE update, President Parachi. Nothing tonight. Item 7.5 CSEA update is President Guadarrama. Guadarrama here. No? Okay. Is Principal Ramon here for RAC?
Bear with me, I'm going to use my phone for the slides just to make sure I follow along here. Good evening, Board President Thorne Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. It's my pleasure to present on behalf of MAC, and we have all of my colleagues here that are members of the board. Next slide, please. No, don't use this. Okay. All right, so I'd like to share that we'd like to welcome back CJUSD. We haven't had an opportunity to present and share on behalf of MAC how excited we are to welcome our students, our classified staff, and our certificated staff back to the 23-24 school year. It's amazing how fast that summer went, but we're well on our way to great things for all of our students. Here are a few images of the various activities that have been happening across the district. Lots of welcome back first day events, student freshman follow-ups, and just different activities in the quad areas and different locations and things for our staff as well for PD. So we want to thank all of our administrators and managers for making these things possible and all of the support staff that it takes to implement these things as well. Next slide. We'd also like to take some time to recognize our AXA Region 12 San Bernardino County president here, Dr. Anthony Ortiz. And so thank you, Dr. Ortiz, for representing. Next slide. And we wanted to update everybody on all of the new MAC positions and all of the board members that we have this year. So we'd like to thank those members who have volunteered to help support and grow our MAC leadership. I am still serving as the president. Next year, we will have ballots out for our president-elect. We have our VP of Equity, Ms. Tiffany Hampton, and so I'll take this opportunity to say thank you, Tiffany, for all that you have done for CJUSD as well as MAC. We are going to miss you greatly. We have our VP member of membership, Mrs. Durham, our treasurer, Mrs. Duran, our interim secretary, this is our new position here, Mrs. Davis, she's stepped up this year for that. Our VP of legislation, Mr. Abbott, and then we have a delegate this year, Mrs. Frejo, who is going to be supporting us and has also been approved to take over when Mrs. Hampton leaves, so she will be our VP of equity moving forward. Next slide. We also want to just take some time to share that this summer, many of our board representatives from MAC attended the AXA Region 12 and 19 conference, where we received training on our roles and how to support AXA across the state, as well as helping us to support and grow our membership. Next slide. This year we have our membership drive. We have increased our dues to $60. It is a one-time fee, but this fee is going to not only include your choice of a variety of shirts that we have, but we are also hoping to not only continue with our tradition of our annual end of the year dinner and give out some gifts throughout the school year and different events, but also earn and raise some money for scholarships for our high school sites. So that's part of our goal this year with MAC. So we hope that every management member will join us in this endeavor. We currently have 31 members. We just released our registration. So we're really excited about that fact. Our goal is to have 60 members this year, but we'd love to have everyone join. So thank you for those of you who've already registered. We have our upcoming events, and I will have Mrs. Hampton share that.
We actually have a full year of events, and yes, I'm still going to be attending. So September, we have going on all month. We're just having registration for MAX. So please, as Ms. Roman said, please make sure that you register when you can. We are going to join the one last year. We're going to attend the Colton High School versus BHS football game together. We had a great time last year, amazing time. So we want to make sure that we have more out there this year. There's going to be a hiking day in October, in November, December. We have a surprise gift for you. So there won't be an outing, but we will have a gift for you. In January, bowling night. So we look forward to seeing you there. In February, hiking seems to be the thing. So we're going to be hiking again in February, and then in March you'll have a gift on your way out for spring break. And then April, we're doing Top Golf. So please make sure you attend that event, Top Golf. And then we'll have our end of the year celebration in. So we definitely look forward to seeing everyone out there at these events. And it's just a time for us to get acquainted, take a break a little bit, spend the work week, and again, just celebrate the time we have together.
All right, on the next slide, we want to encourage anybody who is interested in serving on the MAC board to please join us in that process. We will be sending out an electronic nomination form. So if any of you are interested in being serving in any of the positions that we have, we are going to be having elections shortly for the next term. We do not have a legislative update today, but we do have an equity update. So Mrs. Hampton as well.
So a lot of work going on with equity within AXA. We have for Region 12, Dr. Sharina Betters, who will now serve as the equity representative, following our immediate past, who is Dr. May. So she is going to fill those now. And if you don't know who she is the Chief of Equity and Access at the county office. So if you don't know who she is, amazing woman. She also, this leads me to the Equity Institute, that there's an academy for AXA. If you would like to learn more about equity, please take a chance to get acquainted with that, join that, because she is the director of that as well. So she does teach those courses. They are on the weekends, once a month, so it's not taking a whole lot of time, but definitely an opportunity if you want to get your feet wet and gather a little bit of equity access and learn a little bit more about that. Great opportunity. We also have a new Senior Director of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for AXA, and that's Tracy Noriega. So just a little bit about her. She's an Assistant Superintendent in San Lorenzo Unified School District, and she does a lot of work with ethnic studies and creating curriculums. So she's really another one that we're really excited to have at the table in furthering the equity talk, the discussions, the work in AXA. And then also we have the AXA Equity Institute. That is a workshop that happens in April. It's going to be in Los Angeles, but then this is an event for educational leaders, and it will provide you with tools to develop, implement, and articulate pathways to equity and education in safe and supportive spaces. So we're talking a lot about equity and access, even when it comes to our arts, when it comes to just the safe places that we have for students in the district. And so this is just another way for leaders to get themselves acquainted with equity, but to implement that in schools. So if you have not taken advantage of all of the AXA academies, please do that. Plug, plug, plug. Please do that. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to close this out with the last slide, please. This one is, don't forget to join AXA. So we as a charter of AXA did increase last year. We were one of the districts that was recognized for increasing our AXA membership. And so we have a challenge this year to continue to grow our membership for AXA. As Mrs. Hampton mentioned, there's quite a bit of academies that are available. We'll be sending this slide presentation to all managers so that they can have a better understanding of all the aspects of NAC as well as AXA. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you, and welcome back to the 23-24 school year, everybody.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Roman. On behalf of MAC, I'm going to pivot here a little bit. This is Ms. Hampton's last board meeting in her current capacity as principal of Slaver. And I would just like to thank her on behalf of MAC with our administrative colleagues and her leadership, her mentorship, and her friendship. I'm just really grateful that we've been able to serve alongside you. We're going to miss you.
Truly a blessing to work here in Colton Joint, and this is always going to be home, just so you know that. So I came up from a little fifth grader, and I have all my pictures, and I've shown Nina Sullivan to a fifth grader at Harupa Vista, and I was a new class at Ruther Harris in 93. And then I went to Bloomington in 95, graduated in 99, came back here, and it's just been a great experience. And it's bittersweet. While I love the work and what I'm doing, I'm really, really going to miss the people. So I love you all. I have enjoyed working with you all. I am saddened that I'm leaving, but you'll see me again one day. Thank you.
I'm going to make a comment about our charter in Colton. Many years ago, when I was working as principal, I was real active in AXA at the state level as well. Along with the history teachers. And then really, one of the things that we talked about so often is how can you build a charter and get Colton to be part of this? And we looked at it and looked at it. My friend she we tried a lot of things, and I'm so grateful for those that started charting and went strong. And again, it's one of those things like we were talking about earlier, with the clarity just at the district level and the county level, but at the state level. I think you start talking to legislators and it makes a difference. And it makes a little strong, it makes us in education, it's our kids. So thank you so much for doing that, because it's something I really wanted to see happen. And I'm proud to say that we're Tabla now. So thank you so much. The next item. Which one of you would like to speak?
Yes, we did have yesterday of Cone Wetlands Yucaipa ROP. First of all, introduced and also welcomed Dr. Jason Angle as our new superintendent. And he looked really eager and ready to get started and continues to ask many questions and looks forward to meeting with our superintendents. And I say our because of the three superintendents, but our superintendent here, and so forth. So they did share with us yesterday that Cone Joint Unified Schools District, the ROP teachers got into a good start this year. And always thank our district for welcoming our teachers from ROP. And also shared the fact that we had two new teachers, one of our arts of animation at Bloomington High School and a graphic design teacher at Grand Terrace High School. They shared also that on August 1st in the meeting at Cone City Council, our Cone High School solar boat team and teachers, Dan Hill, Tom Oates, and Chris Barta, and students were honored at the City Council for the participation in the event that they had during, before the end of the school year, which they, if anybody does not know, they built a solar boat. And the key to that is to make sure that it floats. So Cone High School was successful. Everybody was pleased. The Cone City Council and Mayor recognized the fact that we were able to get a boat that was seaworthy and with solar power. So and they're hoping that we'll continue to be able to participate in that event in the years to come. And in fact, we're so successful that the city of Cone is going to sponsor that Cone High School's boat team for the next 3 years. So they're going to provide funding for them. So that was something that was really, really nice. Our automotive programs and the Bloomington High School and Cone High School now have educational assistants to help support our students and teachers. So we're trying to, one of the things that we're not familiar with, that our automotive programs are growing and they're very successful. Many of our students leave high school with a certification that they're able to go straight into employment. And one of the things that we kind of were talking about is the possibility of adding maybe a third portion to the automotive program, which will include electrical technology with the upcoming electrical cars. And that's something that I think they're going to be working on, they've been talking about, and hopefully we'll be able to put that together so that our students at those two spots can access that. And I think that'll be cool to do. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want to take all the information away, so I'm going to refer to Pat and then Israel, if they want to share in, please.
Dr. Engel, as he said, he wants to come out, he's going to visit all three districts, and 3 days in September, he'll be visiting each of the high schools and wants to see how the programs are going and what he can do to help make them even better. So we're looking forward to, I know the board, our CRI-ROP board, we had said we wanted to go, so they gave us the dates when he will be out. And I can share them with Joanne so that if you want to come out, at least, one of them are. So that would, I think that's great that he's going to come out and see firsthand what each of the three districts is offering. And I had something else, but I forgot. That's okay. That's okay. That's good. Go ahead.
So also, one of our 2020, well, it says here 2023 Bloomington High School graduate and former crime scene investigative student awarded a $2,000 scholarship from Toyota of Redlands to continue her studies at Cal State San Bernardino. So our students are coming out of the pathways amazingly, and they're being supported by the community. Toyota of Redlands gave this young lady $2,000 to continue her studies, and there's many, many, many opportunities out there. This past June, I think it was that Mr. Ibarra? We also have a CRIROP Foundation, and currently I was voted in as the new chair or the president of the foundation. Prior, I was Mr. Ibarra was the prior president. And so currently I'm going to be talking a little bit about the foundation at our meetings. So for today, I just wanted to, if you can go on the CRIROP Foundation page, just look it up online, Google it. And if you'd like to donate, last year we gave away $21,000 in scholarships to students. And that's a lot of money, but it also takes a lot of work for us to collect it and donate it and get it all together. But even if you donate that $5, that $10, that $20, or you want to get together as a team with other colleagues and get together to do a one-time donation, it's greatly appreciated. A lot of our students succeed because of a lot of the scholarships. And the way the economy is today, it's hard sometimes for students to be able to pay for tuition. You know, tuition is 3 times more than it was 2 years ago. And, you know, I have a couple of young ladies, one who's in college right now, one that's going to graduate from Bloomington High School this year, and we'll be going to college. So, you know, I always tell her, look for scholarships, Mija, look for scholarships. So this is the opportunity. If you'd like to donate to the CRIROP Foundation, it would be greatly appreciated. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Item 8.1, Superintendent's communique.
Executive Cabinet and members of the audience present here and online, hopefully. It's an honor to serve as your superintendent, and tonight, as usual, 3 short slides here. You know, the first thing that comes to mind that I do want to share is I always have our vision there, keeping students first, achievement, equity, and wellness. And when I see our presentations tonight about equity, about achievement and wellness, it aligns to that vision. And I keep casting the vision out for all those principals meetings everywhere I go, because we believe in our students, and we believe we will get there for sure with the VAPA program. So again, another outstanding presentation that we had tonight on that. Really appreciate that. So next slide, please. Before I get myself in trouble and go way off track here, but I did want to just a career visit by the mayor of Nagoya, which is the 3rd largest city in Japan, population 2.3 million. Had a great conversation on August 10, 2023 of this year, obviously. Members of the Board of Education, as you see there, Ms. Haro and Mr. Fuentes joined me and visited with a delegation led by Dr. Scribner. And so they visited us and we spent a lot of time talking to them. And we were here to gather information about the things that we do with our wellness programs, our curriculum here at Joe Baca Middle School and in our district. And they're going to use that to improve their educational system in Japan, which was just amazing. We had just come from LA and Los Angeles, visited with the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, and the superintendent there. So we were honored to have them here. And again, the was amazing. The officials very interested in what we're doing with our labs there, the Patterson Career Labs that are used by our middle schools. And they got to see students participate. We got to see cookie dough, which was really good. Thank you, Dr. School, for forcing me to eat that. It's really good. Honestly, I say that because I was hesitant at first when Mr. Fuentes couple of those, and it was good. It was really good. It was awesome, the labs that were provided, the hands-on, and the experiences for our students in the different career fields. And it's the career technical education too that we're focused on. You heard about CARWAP and that piece. So, you know, some of those fields that the labs focus on our health, science, robotics, hospitality, computer science, design, marketing. I was particularly interested in the Lego because I love Legos. And people that know me personally, and so we're working on Lego robotics, and then I love that. So I really want to give a special thanks to Dr. Scorbian, Ms. Beams, the teacher there who runs the Paxton Labs is amazing. We have the perfect, and as a former science teacher, but I taught science, and also was a MESA advisor, Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement. For those of you who do not know MESA, it's a great opportunity for students to get those experiences. And also, of course, can't forget about Paul Lucero, our coordinator of CTE programs at our district, who did a phenomenal job of presenting. Very, very proud of him. Ken Solman, who made this happen. Shout out to Ken in coordinating the event. What an awesome event. I'll tell you, I went home, talked to my family about this, once in a lifetime experience, and just had a great opportunity. We showcase our school in Joe Baca Middle School and the outstanding things that are happening there. So very proud of what we're doing there at Joe Baca Middle School. All right, next slide, please. So yesterday we had a birthday celebration at Mary B. Lewis. 75 years. Can you believe that? 75 years of serving that community. And you know, again, we had so many people there. We had alumni. We had a gentleman who attended there in 1950. It didn't look like it. He looked great. Is that Kowalski? Roger Kowalski attended there too. I think he was 1951 or something. Yeah. So Mike Snellings attended there. Just awesome. I got to meet the principal, Mary Boo Lewis back. I forget the date. Just had fun. Students came out, former students. Our elected officials, Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. came out and presented a resolution. We had representatives from the different elected officials. Rosalise Bo came out, and also I believe we also have from Ms. Eloise Reyes's team. We also had a representative there. So just a great event. I want to thank Ms. Carrie Bill, who did a phenomenal job of hosting. It was hot, but you know, I'll tell you, the kids were awesome. The parents were there. It was back to school night too. They did a phenomenal job and just an outstanding event. And just think about all the kids that have gone through there and have gotten a wonderful education. So just an awesome day yesterday. A little hot, but it was still awesome. Okay, then my last slide here. You know, maybe talking about this a lot because we know there's a correlation between attendance and achievement. That's just a given. So attendance matters. This will be the message that I'll be just spreading out throughout the year, throughout the school year. When I get to talk to students, they're going to hear Dr. Miranda say it loud and clear. We talk to the parents about this, knocking on doors, whatever we have to do to get our kids to school so that they can achieve. And we need help from everyone. This is a team effort, all hands on deck, staff, parents, community members, everybody. We got to get our kids to school every single day so they can learn and get a great education and be successful, because ultimately that's our vision, that's our goal. And so throughout the school year, the sites will be offering rewards, incentives to students who have perfect attendance. And also, you know, we have our Tomorrow's Leaders event, our district-wide event that supports that. And we're just pushing it to the next level. Our goal of 95% attendance rate, you know, we can do this. That 95% is what we're shooting for this year. I've seen sites already hitting 96, 97. So I know we're competitive out there. So let's do this. We can do this together. I am so confident in this, and I know it's going to be a true effort. Student Services, thank you, Dr. Ortiz and his team, who are just working, our community liaison folks, to get our kids on time, our transportation department, to get kids bused to schools, doing a phenomenal job this year. And we are going to surpass the 95% this year. That's my challenge. And I told our principals this, 10, 10, 95, 95. What that means, 10% growth in ELA, 10% in math, 95% attendance rate, and 95% of graduation rate. That's our goal this year. That's the clarity and what we expect to happen this year. It's going to happen together. So, and last, I got to say this way off script, but Tiffany, I said this at the principal meeting, and I don't want to make you cry, again, but, you've left a huge impact. Obviously, you know that. And I have to say this publicly, just so proud of, the work that you're doing. And, you're going to be amazing up there. And you're a product of this district. And so we're extremely proud of you. And, don't go too far, stay close, and we look forward to continue that partnership with you. So you're amazing, not just an educator, but just a person. That I think that's just what makes you who you are. You are who you are, and I know you're going to take that with you. And so you can't spell over without love. So we love you, and we will honestly miss you quite a bit. But you're just up the hill. So stay in touch with us because we truly care about you and love you here in Colton. All right. Thank you, Board President. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda. Now we are now at board member comments. Begin with Mrs. Harrell.
Thank you. Yes, the JBMS, the visit, what Dr. Mormon already spoke about it, but what he didn't say was that the mayor of Nagoya, Japan, he had an interpreter there with him to interpret for him, but he did speak some English, and he sang in Spanish to all of us. So we thought that was quite interesting. And, segue, we're talking about the arts today. Music is universal. And there he was singing Vicente Fernandez in Spanish to us, and they had quite the voice. So yeah, it was kind of odd. I just want to thank Carrie Bill and Therese Wall Valdez for the 75th anniversary at Mary B. Lewis. It was a great event. It was well attended, and just want to thank them for all they did to put it together for the Bloomington community. And I added to my little comments here. I want to thank MAC. I hope you all join and spend that $60 wisely, because as you know, we no longer have the Apple Scholarship Foundation, and I was very disappointed when that was dissolved. And so anything, Matt, if you can participate in Max Drive to help get scholarships for our students. I know, Tiffany, you did scholarships for your students over at Slover, and anything will help. So I encourage you to join MAC and help them with this endeavor to get scholarships for our students. And so that was my quote, and my quote this evening will be on the topic of the evening. Arts education isn't something we add on after we've achieved other priorities, like raising test scores and getting kids into college. It's actually critical for achieving those priorities in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harrell. Next, Board Member Sandoval. Board Member Bertha Flores.
Tiffany, where are you? There she is. Okay. I always refer to you as our shining star. And now the star has moved up the hill. And just want to say thank you for loving our kids the way you do, for your dedication, your passion for our kids. And you will be missed. And I'm not going to cry. I wish you the best. Okay.
Thank you. Board Member Fuentes.
Thank you, Board President. I also want to start with, thank you, Tiffany. When I saw you here today, you know I was back there, I grabbed your hand. Was excited to see you, but I'm going to miss you. I know you've given a lot of love to our students. I've been to some of your events that you've done with the students, and you're there like their mother. They come to you like they're your mother. Because a lot of these students that we have at Slover always need that love. And some of the students that I've had the opportunity to speak to at Slover have told us we're really going to miss her. She was like a mom to me. She was like an aunt to me. She was like a sister to me. I want to thank you. Thank you for those years that you've given to our students. I usually don't try to cry, but there's a tear coming out of my eye here. But when you started the You Can't Spell Slover Without Love, I knew that was it right there. The love that you gave those students, the success that a lot of these students have become because of your efforts, like Mrs. Farfara. I can't ever say your name. Thank you. Both of you as a team working for those students. I am very appreciative of you. I'm going to miss you, miss that smile that you always have, that let's get going, let's start getting out there, that go getter. I really, really appreciate you, and I know all of my colleagues do too. Also, on to celebration. We had a celebration yesterday, 75th celebration at Mary B. Lewis. 75 years, like Dr. Miranda said, serving the community. Many of our schools have amazing names. We have a Joe Baca Middle. We have a Walter Zimmerman. We have Gerald Smith. We have Michael D'Arcy. Have you ever heard about a little bit about the story? I'm going to read this. I'm going to end with this today. A little story about Mary B. Lewis and how it was named. And some of our students yesterday actually read this. And here we go. I'm hoping to say her middle name correctly. Mary Barry L. Lewis was born June 13th, 1933, in Indianapolis, Indiana. She was the first of 6 children born to Vince and Barry L. Lewis. In 1943, the Lewis family moved to California to San Fernando Valley and then settled in Bloomington, in the Bloomington area in 1946. Mary attended 8th grade at Cedar Street School, now the former Educational Service Center for Colton Joint Unified School District, where she was an outstanding student. On the morning of January 10th, 1947, Mary, her brother, and a little neighbor girl waited for the school bus at the corner of Valley and Alder. The younger girl dashed into the street in front of traffic. Mary ran after to push her to safety. The little girl was injured but survived. Mary, however, was struck by a large truck and died at the scene. Because of her act of bravery and her excellent scholastic record, members of the school board approached Mr. and Mrs. Lewis and asked if they could name a new school that was being built in honor of Mary. Mary B. Lewis Elementary School opened September 1948. The school was founded under the Bloomington School District and was dedicated October 24th, 1952, by the Native Sons of the Golden West. In 1966, the school joined the Colton Joint Unified School District. And that's the story about Mary B. Lewis. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Mr. Flores.
No comment, but I also wanted to take just a minute to thank Tiffany. Of course, lots have been said and well-deserved. I wanted to thank you for helping change and be part of a major change in the culture, not only at Slover, but I think the way that people viewed Slover. It's no secret that those of us that have been involved in this district for many years, Slover wasn't necessarily something that people were proud to say, I went to Slover. It was something that you found yourself at Slover. You weren't able to finish at Colton or Bloomington. And that has changed. And the students that are at Slover now say it with pride. They are excited. And when we see, and I've seen now over a series of a decade, not only more students graduating, but the whole culture, and they truly believe that they are equal to and have as enriched experience as any of the students at any of our comprehensive high schools. And you've been a big part of that. And I am so grateful for that, because we talk a lot about equity, talk a lot about representation, but it's not enough to talk, you got to live it. And we're seeing that, and that will be your legacy at Slover, is those students are proud of their story, of their history, of where they come from, the challenges that they face. And when they graduate, there's nothing like a Slover and Washington graduation, right? I mean, they are partying and celebrating because they know that it has been a difficult journey. The family knows, we know. And it is one of the most fun experiences to see those students walk across that stage, because they have earned it, truly earned it. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and certainly this board, for everything that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Mr. Ibarra.
Thank you, Joanne. I also like to take this opportunity to thank Tiffany, because for the wonderful job she has done. There's no words that I could come up with, or enough words to thank her, other than the fact that I think she was a true blessing to our district, and mainly the students that went to Slover. I agree with Mr. Flores. She changed the culture there. I've come across students who proudly say they're graduates of Slover High School. And all that feeling of pride that you've helped instill in them, just providing that culture and environment there at Slover, you know, it's because of you. And we can't thank you enough, you know. So I just want to take this opportunity to wish you the best as you move through your career. I'd love to see you come back. And, you know, I heard you say a little bit about I might be back. So, you know, I might hold you to that. I don't know if I'll be around that long, but I just want to say thank you from me, because I've seen the change over the years, and you were a big part of that, along with your staff, and creating the culture there. And you know, it'll be up to us to make sure that we put someone that will continue your legacy there, so that it can continue for on behalf of our students. So thank you, and best wishes to you always.
Thank you, Mr. Ibarra. Couple of things. First of all, I know it's been tough since school started. Hopefully you're kind of getting that plateau now, where at least things are not happening every day to surprise you. But I know how hard the first few weeks are of school, and I thank each and every one of you here and all of our employees for doing what they do each and every day to make the school year start off successfully. I've already made a comment about MAC and how grateful I am to see, not just for myself, because it's something I always wanted, but also for you, because I know what it can do to you professionally and personally. Again, we're talking about kids matter. Well, we matter too, and what you do matters. And through MAC, you'll see a lot more of that each and every year. So thank you for those of you who've done that. I'm glad you said that about Mary B. Lewis, how they named the school, because I wanted to hear. I read that and I was really touched by a board that would name a school in honor of a student for something like that. And I think that was wonderful to mention, so that we have an idea of why are these schools named after people? What is it that we've that occurred that, unfortunately, this is not a happy thing, but she made a difference. She mattered. So thank you for reading that, Mr. Fuentes. The best part about tonight was Dr. Miranda talking about school attendance. When I was a principal, that was my mantra: be at school on time every single day, be at school on time every single day. And it made a difference. So I'm really glad that we're really focusing on that, because We need to give our kids what they need to be successful when they leave school. And they're not going to have that happen if they don't come to school each and every day, because you've got so much to provide to them, so much love to give to them, and let them know how important they are. But if they're not here, they won't feel that. So we need to get them to school each and every day. So thank you, Dr. Miranda. And Tiffany, I'm not going to make you cry anymore, because if I talk, I'll cry. But you have made a huge difference. And I'm grateful that I've known you, and I hope you will come back. But thank you for being what you've been to the kids and for your leadership that created that change at that school. And I know it, all those kids have benefited by it, and so has your staff. And I know that you'll probably bring that same belief and same love to your new job in the new district. And, everything has a time and a season. So now it's time for you to do that for a while and then come back. But thank you for making a difference. And you've mattered a great deal here. Thank you. With that, we are now going to adjourn into closed session to discuss the items listed on the closed session agenda. On a motion by Board Member Dan Flores and seconded by Board Member Fuentes and it carried on a 7-0 vote, the board approved the following. Certificated regular staff 9, elementary teacher 2, math teacher 2, general science teacher, school psychologist, science teacher, speech therapist, and special education early childhood teacher. Classified coaching 4, head varsity basketball boys, head varsity softball girls, junior varsity football assistant boys, varsity football assistant boys. Volunteer coaching 5, football boys 3, soccer girls, and track co-ed. No action was taken on item 11.2. 11.3. In closed session on a motion by Board Member Hara and seconded by Board Member Israel Fuentes. And on a 6-0-1 vote, the board appointed the following: Veronica Rodriguez, Principal, Ruth O. Harris Middle School, with Mrs. Bertha Flores abstaining. And with that, have a good night.